All right, Shalom. This is a quick sit down lesson of the M.O.T.B news updates as of July July 28th, 2026 on this Tuesday afternoon of the M.O.T.B news update. So with that, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Wakar Kadash, and the Heavenly Father, true name is Yahweh, and his unbegotten Son Bahashem. In the name of Hamashiach Yahushai, those are the true names in ancient Paleo Hebrew, the Lost Gospel of the tongue, and I said Barak Thumb to the elders and apostles while I came off and I say Shalom. And this is a sit down lesson of the M.O.T.B news updates as of July the 28th, 2026 on this on this Tuesday afternoon. It's like it says Congress is moving closer to make a federal central digital currency ban permanent. It says investors, M.O.T.B, Caldwell Research. It says a Monday research noted that the permanent ban is most likely to pass a temporary extension, right with the banning of the federal central digital currency ban permanent, which is I think December 30th, 2030, I believe, while they choose the private stablecoin in cryptocurrency. Just like South Carolina, they passed a bill down there like last week, I believe, about the pushing of the pro cryptocurrency and the private stablecoin as well too. And all these republic states don't lean towards that direction as well too. It says CoinGeek of South Korea, the central bank currency Hong Kong Phase 2 targets 500K users, which I spoke about that previously. Did a lesson on that yesterday. I think it was yesterday. I think went to these updates yesterday. It says token post published 2 days ago. South Korea taps a Daniel to expand deposit token payments linked to the central digital currency plot. The South Korean payments firm Daniel has been selected to join the government-backed efforts to expand the deposit token-based payments. Right, so we're seeing more and more of these rollouts. Yahoo says South Korea begins a national rollout of central digital currency phase deposit tokens and payments. And I think they said it's part of that biometric stuff as well too. So that's why we're seeing more and more of these CBDC plots, CBDC trials, CBDC tests. Uh, that's part of the private stablecoin, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. So they're pushing these phase plots, which they've been doing for years, and as we're getting closer and closer to pushing everything's being more cashless, digital money, digital coins, these pro cryptocurrency, private stable coins, cross border payments on offline option, financial wise. That's what they're pushing for. So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16. It says, and it calls them all, both small and great, rich and poor, free or bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads. Right, so this is going to be a charagma of this digital art for each, especially from a financial perspective, like buying and selling, even if you're upper class, lower class, the economical spectrum. It says he calls them all, both small and great, rich and poor, free or bond, to receive a mark in their right hand and foreheads, right to receive right hand and forehead. It says that no man might buy or sell, say that he had the mark, which that corrupt, or the name of the beast, or his name. Right? You look at that. You look that up in the blue letter dictionary. If you look at that in the book, the blue letter Bible, where it says mark, which is that corrupt that they want to implant in your right hand, your forehead, especially this modern day digital art like Egypt. They want to insert in your right hand, your forehead for you to buy or sell. But this is going to be the modern day new norm as we get living closer and closer to that direction of the mark of the beast of the M.O.T.B is not at hand. A major prophecy coming past being fulfilled. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 17. It says that no man might buy or sell, right? That no man might buy or sell around the world among all nations. That no man might buy or sell. This is going to be worldwide. This is going to be fully implemented. It says that no man might buy or sell, say that he had the mark. That's why they're pushing these 15-minute city smart cities. That's going to be part of buying and selling this neural link, this nanotechnology, this digital RFID chip in order for you to buy or sell. It says that no man might buy or sell, say that he had the mark. of the name of the beast, right? His current beast systems, which is ruled by man, or in his name. Revelations 13, verse 18. Here is wisdom, let him have understanding, count the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man, and his number is SIX, 3 squared SIX. Right here is wisdom, because in the book of Daniel, 12, verse 4, knowledge should be increased. Because you know the wicked, that rule the beast system, he do this on the left hand side to push forth. That's why the scripture says, book of Daniel, 12, verse 4, knowledge should be increased, especially with the book the pushing of this mark of the beast. It says, here is wisdom, let him have understanding, count the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man, his number is SIX, 3 squared SIX. So with that, go ahead and close it out. This is just a shalom, yeah, how about Shemir Shop, rock a to your house, shalom, shalom. So this was just a quick set down lesson of the M.O.T.B news updates as of July the 28th, 2026. As we start to see the market beast increasingly is not at hand. So this is what they're going to push forth, this cashless society. And especially, I think it was like I think it was like last week or about 7 days ago, or 5 or 6, 7 days ago, you had China was trying to overdo Elon Musk. I think it's called NEO brain chip or something like that. China, they have revealed that even though Moab is not going to overdo Esau any other way, because Esau, Earth is still getting to hands wicked, but they're definitely going to be in competition with one another, especially the United States and China, because they've been having these economical chip wars. What you call that? Technology wars, chip wars, and stuff like that. So uh, even though Moab is going to surpass Esau with that what you call that E1 or something like that. So that lets you know we're seeing more and more of these countries turning away from the American dollar, because the fiat currency of the American dollar is declining, despite the fact it's still value right now. So that's an indicator that we're entering more and more of a modern uptick of a cashless society. That's why we see more, the paper dollars going to be done away with. So that's why they're pushing forth this digital dollar, Bitcoin, stablecoin, cryptocurrency, private stablecoin, private cryptocurrency. That's why you're seeing that's being more value than the actual dollar, the paper dollar, especially around these other countries as well too. So these are signs, indicators that we're seeing more and more of a cashless society. Because all your financial information, your medical information, your personal information, it's going to be a thing of the past, and this is what they're pushing forth of a cashless society for you to buy and sell. That's why they're pushing more and more of these smart cities, 15-minute cities. Hey, just like over there in Switzerland, they already got the some of these smart cities, 15-minute cities. Some places like over there in the Netherlands, some places over there in Europe, and some places over here in America, they got some 15-minute cities already developed. 15-minute cities, smart cities, more pushing of a cashless society, more and more with this neural this nanotechnology that they want to implant in your right hand, your forehead for you to buy or sell. Now, of course, you're going to have these other nations, they're going to be in competition with one another. Who got the best currency, alternatives to currency, or replacing their dollar of their currency. And then they're going to have them being alliance with each other, pushing forth this cross-border payment, offline payments, and along with the pushing of this device that they want to implant in your right hand, your forehead, newer nanotechnology. So this is what they're pushing for. And shalom to the brother Hawashai. Yep. Shalom to the brother Hawashai Badiah. Hey, shalom to you, brother. Hey, peace and blessing you or your household. I say shalom to you. Good to hear from you. Hey, shalom from you. Shalom to you. I know you had sent the message right here. Yeah, on the comment board. Hey, so shalom to you, brother. Yahaba Shemash Barakatah to you or your house. And I say shalom to you. Yeah, so back to what I was saying, hey, this is more we see in the pushing of the market of beasts is not yet. Matter of fact, I'm not going to close out just yet. Yeah, I'm going to check out some more. Yeah, I'm going to check out the AI search. It says the global central bank, the CBDC landscape has fractured into a friction divided. The United States has actively banned a federal digital dollar. Right, so they fully banned the digital dollar. What was supposed to be towards to it. Now, if it was run by Democrats, best believe they was going to push forth the digital dollar. Now it's run by the Republicans. now they're pushing forth the private stablecoin, ban the central district currency. So basically, the private stablecoin and the private cryptocurrency is basically like an alternative to central district currency because they still gonna be fully surveilling private, your financial, your financial money stuff like that. So basically, it's like an alternative to it. So ain't no other way around it. It says while Europe and China and are emerging markets and rapidly scaling up sovereign digital currencies, it says according to the Atlantic Council of the Central Digital Currency Tracker, it's 8% of the global GDP are actively exploring or plotting the central digital currency. Right, so they're actively exploring and plotting the central digital currency, just like South Korea, which is allies with the United States. That's why they've been pushing this CBC plot, CBC trial, CBC test, which they've been doing for, I would say, for about 3 or 4 years, and they're doing it once again. Because I think in September they're supposed to be rolling out this increasing phase of South Korea pushing for this digital wallet. I think like digital wallet, this biometric stuff that's going to be part of currency as well too, part of finance. And the elders, the elders apostles, and the elders apostles, they've been speaking about this quite a while, and it's been increasing. So continuing on. Yep, the Clarity Act, the Senate released a revised version of the Digital Market Clarity Act. It says the bill of Slovakia. Slovakia. Yeah, back to the reading. It says the Clarity Act, the Senate released a revised version of the Digital Market Clarity. Yeah, the Clarity Act. The bill explicitly prohibits federal officials from sponsoring digital assets while paving a regulatory pathway for private cash like stablecoins such as the USDC and USDT. It says executive stands. It says the Trump administration and the Treasury Secretary Scott Benson has confirmed that a digital dollar is entirely off the table, citing a several concerns of state surveillance and privacy. So even if they do use as the private stablecoin and the private cryptocurrency, so even though they choose those two options with the Clarity Act that they might fully pass very soon, so they choose the private stablecoin and the private cryptocurrency, the pro cryptocurrency. It's like I mentioned again, South Carolina saying that a bill. So that's basically they still gonna pass surveillance of the private stablecoin and the cryptocurrency. They still gonna have surveillance of it. So it doesn't matter if they fully ban the digital dollar and they choose an alternative to basically the central digital currency, like an alternative with the private stablecoin and the cryptocurrency. They still gonna have surveillance of it. So I'm reading it again. It says the Trump administration Treasury Secretary Scott Benson has confirmed that the digital dollar is entirely off the table. It says citing a several concerns over the state surveillance and privacy. It says the Eurozone, the digital euro, mirrors launch of decision. It says in a sharp contrast to the U.S., Europe is moving with its state-backed digital money. It says the decision phase of the European Central Bank of the ECB is finishing is a multi-year preparation phase. They expect to make a final issuance decision by the end of the year, which I previously read this already. It says the commercial plots. It says the European Central Bank on board major firms, including the Dutch Bank, the revolt of the test beta versions on the digital euro online and immerse payments. If the framework passes, a full launch is expected as anticipated by 2028 or 2029. It might be sooner than that. How the way things are rolling with this central digital currency, with the alternative to replacing the dollar in these countries and the pushing of the market beast. So it might be sooner than later. Just like South Korea pushing forth their central digital currency phase of the digital dollar. I think it's going to be rolled out in September. So, hey, you never know the European Union. The European Central Bank might do the same thing as well too. It says banking backlash. The commercial European banks are actively weighing the risk of warning that the digital euro infrastructure could cost the sectors up to 5.8 billion in Spencer away in charge fees. I don't know if I pronounced that right. SIPHON. Couldn't pronounce that word right, but continue on. It says China and BRICS interest bearing a EC1 cross-border growth. And that's what we've been seeing with these nations, despite the fact they're going to be in competition with one another. Who got the best currency? Who got the best alternative to replacing their dollar in their currency? In their country. And of course, you're going to have competition with alliance, which I mentioned before about between these nations. Pushing forth this cross-border payments, online and offline options. That's how it's going to be with the market beast. It's going to be online and offline option as well too. It says China and BRICS interest bearing. Hello, Moto. Hello. Hello. I guess somebody called. I ain't saying nothing. And once again, Habashai Doc, Habashai Badiah, hey, shalom to you, brother. Once again, a peace and blessing you or your house when I say a shalom. Yeah, get back to what I was saying. Yeah, it says China's CNY has officially translated from a cash alternative into an interest-bearing deposit instrument. It says China added 12 more commercial banks to its networks. It says further scale adoptions. It says the cross-border milestones. It says China recently completed a first cross-border digital uh, yuan payment to Singapore, a wholesale transactions volume in bridge of a multi central bank platform service over 55 billion. It says a bridge alignment. The host nation India has proposed a linking to a digital currency of all 11 BRICS members and facilitating alternative, a non-digital trade and tourist networks. Yeah, so this is what they're pushing for. It says global snapshot, where it's actually over 100 countries are researching the or running plots on a completely deployed the retails of the central digital currency to the public. It might be more than now. It says the fully launched the Bahamas, Sand Dollar, Jamaica, Jamdex, Nigeria, Inara, and Zimbabwe. It says advanced plots. The United Arab Emirates rolling out a wholesale retail digital dirham in India. Yeah, so more pushing of digital currency in a cashless society, and the pushing that's going to lead to a road to the path of the market BC being fully implemented. And that's what we see among all these nations. So this is the book of Revelations 13, verse 15. He had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that many would not worship the image of the beast shall be unalive. Right, because the ultimate deceiver coming down with great wrath, because you had short time to rule, and that's the book of Revelations 12, verse 9 to verse 12. The wicked that rule the sub-beast system. It says Revelation chapter 13. So if you don't worship the image of the beast, you best believe you're gonna be undermined. And this is what they're pushing for, that great persecution. Because if you don't worship the beast system, you're gonna be an outcast. You're gonna be a throwaway outcast in society. It says Revelations chapter 13, verse 16. Now you're gonna have a lot of people that's gonna rebel against this current beast system, which is ruled by man, because he's coming down with great wrath. You have a short time to rule. That's why they're pushing forth this cashless society for you to be conform to ways this society of buying and selling, continue to be protected in ways in society to function in today's society. This is what they're pushing forth. Slovakia. Yep, so get back to that Revelations 13 and verse 16. It says, He calls of all, both small and great, right? The wicked and the son of perdition, because he's coming out of great wrath, because he had short time to rule the one that ruled the sub-beast system. It says, He calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free or bond. Right, so He calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free or bond. Hello, Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Yes. Hello? Are you still there? Right. It's scared calls. Yep, Revelations 13, verse 16. It says, He calls all, both small and great, rich and poor, free or bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? To receive a charagma in their right hand and foreheads to buy and sell, like I mentioned to you numerous times. Revelations 13, verse 17, it says, Let no man might buy or sell and say that he had the mark, was that charagma, or the name of the beast, or his name. Right, this beast is which is ruled by man. So that's why he calls them all, both small and great, rich and poor, free or bond, to receive a mark in their right hand and forehead for you to buy or sell. Revelations 13, verse 17, it says that no man might buy or sell and say that he had the mark, that charagma, or the name of the beast, or his name. Right, so in order for you to buy or sell, you have to have that mark in their right hand and foreheads, which is the name of the beast. This beast system is ruled by man, like I mentioned, being or his name. Verse 18, and it reads the Holy Scriptures. It says, Here is wisdom, let him have understanding, count the number of the BST, for it is a number of a man. Right, this beast system, he's a number of man, and his number is SIX 300 Right, so they want to implement that collide on your right hand forehead, which is ruled by a man of this beast system. And his number is SIX 300 SIX. So with that, this was just a quick sit-down lesson of the M.O.T.B news updates as of July the 28th, 2026, as we start to see the market of beasts is not at hand. And once again, shalom to the brother Habashai Daya. Hey, peace and blessing you or your house. So, hey, Habashai Shabarak to you or your house, and I say shalom to your Ak. So with that, I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to say Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakab Kadash, and the Heavenly Father, true name is Yahweh, and His unbegotten Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach Yahushai. Those are the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, the Lashon, the Holy Tongue, and I say Barakatham to the elders and apostles, Akim, Akwaf. Till next time, I would say Kor Meshuala, and the Ball, Shalom.